with it, in the hood with it. Welcome back to the Collective Clips, where you already know we get it in. But before we get it in, let's hit that like and subscribe button. Ding! Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that I am kicking. And I highly appreciate all the support, man. We're going up on this channel. It's all because of you. And for that, I can say I'm very humbled and very much appreciative. So are you guys ready for a new super episode? This is something different, right? So the one I wanted to do today, I want to tell you guys an old school story about Super Pinoy. You guys ain't ready for no Filipinos, man. Stop it. They are different, okay? This guy in particular was way different, right? So welcome back, man, to the Super Series. You already know what it is, man. So trip out. When I was in the youth authority, right, I ran into not a lot of Asians. You know, it seemed like when I was in Southern California, there wasn't very many Asians. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. Every time a TRG hit a compa, he got hit up and hit on that compa. Now, TRGs are with the activities, with the business. But at that time, there was a lot of TRGs out of the Fresno and the Long Beach area. And there was guerra. There was actually a green light on the TRGs at the time. So every time a Tiny Rascal gang member would hit the compa, man, a gang of Southerners, especially if there were Southsiders from Long Beach, would get on his head quick. And so that means every other Asian that was there would have to get involved. They would have to back the play of their people. And it just was disaster for the Asian men. There wasn't very many of them. There were some that were there for a minute from MOD, from Asian boys and all these different little cliques. And they were able to function and do their thing. They were Asian men. They didn't have no problems with no one. They just did their time. But if you were TRG, you got smashed on. Well, there was Super Pinoy. He comes along, right? And I ran into him in prison as well, right? Way years later. And I'll tell you right now, he had changed from how he was in YA. But this motherfucking YA was different, right? He didn't care about none of that shit. And he had major, major hands. So I was on Compa Kennedy, right? Kennedy Compa. And that was probably like one of the first buildings that I'd been on where it was a drug program. And we were all there doing packets and doing what we had to do. And I ain't gonna lie, after all the riots that we had with the Southsiders, the Northerners, we just wanted to chill, man. Everyone was trying to chill, smoke a micha, which is a little piece of a cigarette, and just do our thing. Right now, there was one Asian dude there named Booger from MOD. I've told stories about him. That was the homie, right? He was from Merced. I know him quite well, man. That was my taita. That was my boy just because he was from the same town. And I knew a lot of his homeboys from MOD, so we used to chop it up. There was one other Asian dude that had come. He was a Filipino dude as well. But he was real quiet. And he kind of was into the church thing, doing the Christian thing. So Booger didn't fuck with him. Booger was hardcore MOD. Anyone could get it cut. Anyone could get it, right? So he just did his thing. But there was like 3 or 4 dudes from Longo there, from East Side Longo, I remember. And so anytime an Asian dude would come through that door, and they came a couple times, TRGs, they'd get on him, right? And it was just like that. And so Booger was like, that's their business, man. I ain't tripping. If someone needs my assistance, whatever, I got them. But they ain't what I am. So I think Booger was Hmong, right? So he just didn't have nothing to do with what they had going on. He wasn't no sucker, but hey, they made their bed, let him fuck in it. So that was their thing. Until Super Pinoy came along, right? And I say Super Pinoy because he was a superhero. This motherfucker was the Joker mixed with the Green Lantern. He didn't give a shit about nothing or nobody, right? So this dude walks in the doors, tall, swole, right? Darker. You could tell he was either Cambodian or Filipino. And so as he walks in, man, Southsiders are on him quick. They wouldn't even let a motherfucker drop his property, right? Where you from, right? The vato was like, I'm a Pinoy, what's up? And he drops it back there like, you from TRG? He was like, hell no. What's up, man? I'm just me. And they were like, oh, okay, all right, you're cool. And he was like, nah. What do you mean you're hitting me up? I'm cool. And they were like, yeah, no, you're cool. He said, no, I'm cool. They were like, oh shit. They didn't get it. He said he was cuckoo, right? One flew over the cuckoo's nest. Anyways, this guy comes, goes to his bunk. And I remember me and the homeboy Bads from Sakra, right? I was like, damn, that's a crazy ass Asian dude. He got violent with the Southside. Usually they'd be like, we don't give a fuck, fool. What's up, person? They pull out their knives, right? They were even kind of like, what do we do? This dude said, he's cuckoo, right? So anyways, he's down in his bunk. And I remember, man, it was lunchtime. And there was like a fucking little, a silver thing. And then they'd pass out lunches, right? And the cops would usually have like one of the inmates do, one of the wards, right? So actually, I was doing it that day with the white dude. And we're handing out the lunches, right? They came in little boxes or little bags. Boom, we're handing them out. And I remember he said, let me get 2, homie. And I was like, yeah, bro, I can't do that, bro. You know what I'm saying? There's a couple extra, but I'm going to go ahead and need them myself. He's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and eat 2 from now on. I said, oh shit, this motherfucker trying to punk me or something, right? So I was like, yeah, I ain't gonna be the one to do that. You gotta understand in YA, it was all about holding it down for yours. Like you couldn't show no type of sympathy or nothing, right? So I was like, nah, yeah, I'm not that one, bro. Yeah, you ask someone about me, ask about me, right? Yeah, I'll probably stab you if I have to, right? I don't want to, but we're cool. So we end up hitting it off and being cool. He was a cool dude, right? But he was nuts. Crazy. Now I told you about Super Ooze, and he was he was a crazy motherfucker. And later on, I got another super, a back-to-back super I'm going to tell you about later on. Different, right? But this guy was hilarious, and he was vicious. Let me tell you what happens. So the Southerners felt played. The Southsiders felt played because the way he came at them. And one thing about why is you can't play no one. You know, they might say, oh, cool. But later on, they're going to go chop it up with their homeboys. And the homeboys are going to pump them up, or they're going to feel some tight. Like, they got to get theirs, right? So, Southsider comes up to him from Long Beach. He's like, hey, bro, yeah, we didn't mean no disrespect. He didn't say bro. They didn't say bro, right? He's like, hey, I said we didn't mean no disrespect. It wasn't like that. He said, I don't give a fuck. I disrespected you. Boom, jumped up, took flight, right? Him and the Southsider are fighting. Now, if it's a one-on-one, it's a one-on-one. If it was like with Northerners or blacks or whites, yeah, it'd be a riot because there's more. But there was only one Asian. Again, Booger's reading his book on his bunk. Booger looks up, Southsider's looking at him. Booger's like, back to his book. Like, that ain't got nothing to do with me, right? This dude puts dick beaters and toenails all over the Southerner. Boom, 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 stomping him. Boom, boom. Couple Southerners come, pull him off. Cops, get down. They pull their pin, they mace. He's gone, right? Southsiders are like, damn, that motherfucker could chunk him, right? That motherfucker knew martial arts of some different type of island business. So they get rid of him. He goes to the hole for about 3 days. He comes back. Only he comes back madder than ever. This motherfucker walked in, and of course, every time someone walks in the compa, the Southsiders was raised up like they want to see who it is. If it's one of their people, they'll pull them in. If it's someone else, they'll hit them up. Whatever, right? Northerners, there was only like 6 or 7 of us on the compa, so we figured if he's a homie, he'll find his way here. If not, well, Sawaske, you're on your own, homie, right? Bust a spread, homie, over there. So this dude walks in, drops his bags, says, hey, where's that one dude at, right? Now, that Southerner had went to the Oyo too, the one that he fought with. And they end up giving him a Nixon program, right? Or he was going to do a Nixon program. So he was still in the oil. So this motherfucker came headhunting. He came on saying super Pinoy shit. He came ready to get off, right? Now, another Southerner from Long Beach, which was his homeboy, he was like, hey, bro, and he was big. He's like, my homeboy ain't here, right? I'll catch the fade for him, though. So he's like, let's go, right? So as soon as yard opened, now, this is the way it used to be. They would open up the door to the yard. We'd all line up on this brick wall, and the handball court was facing that direction, right? So as soon as they blow the whistle, all right, which meant everyone go program, you'd have to run behind the handball court and chunk them real quick. You got a good 2 minutes before the cop. And usually the cops knew what time it was, so they'd walk real slow so you can get yours. But by the time they bent that corner, if they seen you fighting, they have to write you up and shut the program down, and nobody wanted that, right? Man, it didn't take 2 minutes. It took about 37 seconds, right? This motherfucker, as soon as that whistle blew, I never seen a Pinoy run so fast. I didn't know they had it in them, right? This motherfucker ran behind the handball court way before it. Now, the Southerners, they had something for him. They ran too deep, right? But really, it was just for one to watch the back of his homeboy while the other one got off. Because over there, you do one-on-ones. You don't jump nobody. If you jump, you can jump them during a riot or something like that. And if motherfuckers want to be Rudy Poop, they'll jump a person, right? But usually, it's just a one-on-one. Man, this motherfucker did the flying Pinoy punch. Das! Right? The first Southsider, the second Southsider tried to jump in. He hit him with the left, right? To the left, to the left. Every Southsider by the handball court, to the left, right? Southerners are looking like, oh, fuck this Southsiders, right? Hey, this motherfucker bent the corner. Before the cop could even get over there, he's like, what's going on here? There's 2 Southerners on the ground doing the fit or a combustion. It was bad. And it's true, right? He fucked them up. I was like, damn, this fool got hands. So Northerners, we would be in the corner smoking frajos and just staying out the way, right? You know, we looked in every direction, so if anyone wanted that smoke, we could just give it to them, right? Let me tell you right here. This motherfucker walked up to us like, let me get a cigarette. I'm like, not can I have a cigarette? Let me get a cigarette. And I'm like, bro, we only got this meat chop. Can I hit it? I said, yeah, we can't smoke it. He just grabbed it. I was like, well, fuck it then. Yeah, you can hit it. Right, shit, you can have it, right? He was like, you see the way I did what I did, right? He said, I'm going to knock everyone out over here. I said, as long as you leave us alone, bro. We're with you. We're not against you, brother, right? This motherfucker was a J-Cat. He was crazy. This dude was whipping ass until his ass got whipped. Now, let me explain what happened. So, every time someone wanted to smoke with him, after he gained his respect, Southerners were tripping. Don't get it twisted. He went to the school area and got jumped on a few times, right? But I'm going to keep it real. Motherfuckers were kind of spooked to him because he was a J-Cat. And also they gave him a little bit of respect because he had major hands, right? So trip out on this. I ended up getting moved to Madison, which is a compa right across the street. I've been there about 8-9 months, not even tripping. And I was telling, hey, you know that Pinoy dude, the one in school that's always fighting and shit? Because he fought more than Northerners against Southerners. Like because they disrespected him the first time, he wasn't going to let it go. Right? Asians were telling him to kick back, homie, my loud. Just kick it. Hey, kick it, cut. Right? He's like, fuck that. Right? So he was on. Well, anyways, trip out. I go to Madison. About 8 months later, guess who comes knocking at the door? They open the door. About 3 dudes walk in. 2 Southsiders, a white, and Super Pinoy, right? And he walks in. He's more calmer now. He's been there for a while. So I'm like, hey, what's up, homie? He's kind of looking. He's like, I know you. I'm like, oh, man, this fool's a J-Cat. I was like, yeah. Remember, we were on Kennedy together. And he was like, oh, all right. Cigarette man. Yeah, the one always, gave me the cigarettes. I'm like, nah, you kind of like took them. We didn't even give them. But yeah, hell yeah, what's up, bro? He's like, oh, yeah, what is it over here, man? You know what I'm saying? I'm ready for all that smoke. I'm like, no. It's not like that, bro. Everyone's cool. But it was like that. So there's a gang, and I think it's in Orange County. It's called Santana, right? There's actually a Pinoy Southsider gang. For those of you that don't know, I did a video a long time ago where there's Pinoy vatos from the sur. Like, that's what they claim, right? And there was one of them on that compa, and he was a big-ass vato, right? And he had heard about him, but I guess they had just never ran into each other in the school area. Now, the dude I'm talking about from Santana was probably like 20, 21. He was an older vato. So he would be like on the compa and he would like help do certain things. Like he didn't have to go to school. He'd been graduated. I don't know what this motherfucker should have been in Folsom. He shouldn't have been there, right? Big old brocha, just Asian as hell, but Mexican flavor, right? So he had the best of both worlds. Like, you know what I mean? Egg, food, taquitos. Like he was with it, right? So he's doing his thing. And I remember I never talked to him. He was a Southerner, right? Real quiet, older, but was kind of like, he ran his Ramfla right there, Orange County shit. And this dude comes and he's just tough, right? So the Pinoy from fucking Santana pulls him to the side and they're talking, right? They're outside talking. And this dude, you got to understand, he's a JK, he's a hothead. When I say J-Cat, he don't give a fuck about nobody or nothing. In his mind, he thinks everybody's against him, so he's against everyone. That's just the way it is. That's why I call him Super Pinoy. He has superpowers too. Because I'll tell you, like I tell everyone else, you can't beat up a J-Cat. You can jump him, you can strike him, you can do some bad things to him. But beat him up and knock him out, you're probably not going to do that because he'll just keep coming and coming. He's on his Nicky Santoro shit from the movie Casino, on his Joe Pesci hype, for reals. He's going to crack your fucking head wide open, right? He was different. So anyways, they're talking, man, and they start arguing, and that dude pushes, the big dude from Santana, he pushes the Pinoy like, fool, you better get up off me, bro. Man, this motherfucker came with a super haymaker. I don't know what it is about Pinoys, man. Up to that point, I had never seen 2 of them fight. That motherfucker dude from Santana's backed up and caught him with the Pinoy power punch. Boop, 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 right? Guys, that motherfucker leaned back like, he hit me hard, right? These guys were chunking him all over the yard. There's a cop coming out of the door. Somehow it ended up in the fucking day room, from the yard to the day room. Chairs are getting thrown. They're chunking them. A whole bunch of Southsiders are coming in, and both these Pinoys are pushing Southsiders back like, no, let it be us, right? Let me tell you, these motherfuckers chunked them. Who won? I can't even tell you. I didn't really get to see the stuff in the day room because they had the yard go down. These motherfuckers chunked them, right? So the dude from Santana's, they take him to the hold. They take the other dude to the hold. Well, they actually take the dude from Santana's to the infirmary because he got his whole shit split with the chair. Dude was picking up chairs and all kinds of crazy shit. So boom, I don't see him again, right? Everyone's is the talk of the town. Now he's got a green light in the facility. So now it finally, after all these ass whoopings, it's come to the point now where if you see this dude, he's not allowed to walk the linea. And that's what they used to do, man. If you were putting in too much work and vatos felt some type of way and they knew they couldn't get you on the one-on-one, now it's a green light. Now everyone had to stab you, hurt you, or whatever. And I remember they tried to put a green light on me, the vatos from Riva, because I fought some dude named, what was his name, man? Thumper. He was a big dude. I caught him good. And after that, there was a green light from the Riva boys, right? So I had to step out the way. But it's all good. Shout out to Riva. But anyways, right? So I don't see these dudes no more. So it's years later, I'm in Jamestown, right? I always run into everyone in Jamestown. I'm in Jamestown. I'm chilling, man. I'm walking with my boy Brins, and we're hitting the yard, man. We're just doing what we do, you know. It's nothing major. And one thing I can say about that prison is that prison didn't feel like a prison. It never felt like a prison to me. I enjoyed it. Like, if right now, if I could go back to any point in time besides like boning a torta, and they said, hey, you have to be in jail, where would you be? It would be that particular yard with those particular people on that particular time. It was lovely, man. I had money coming in. I had a cool side hustle making pruno. I had a few homies from the town. I was working out. I was on swole. That was like one of the best times of my life. It's crazy that prison was one of the best times of my life, but it's the truth, right? And I remember seeing him. He was older now, right? Older as a motherfucker. His whole beard right here had turned gray. He was skin bald. He had tattoos. And I was like, man, I told my boy Brins, hey, I know that dude, bro. Like, I know him from somewhere. He was like, yeah, he's an Asian cat. I said, yeah, I know him. And he went over with the other Asians and they're chilling, right? Well, I had an Asian partner, right? From MOD from Merced, not Booger. Booger had been in prison, moved on, right? And I was like, hey, what's that dude's name? And he said his name and I was like, I don't know him. See, because in YA, he didn't have a fucking placazo. He wasn't a gang member. He wasn't none of that. He was just a J-cat. You go by your last name, right? That's what they call you, your last. It's like the military, they call you your last name. I was like, damn, he sounds familiar, bro. So I'm walking one day and he's staring at me too. And he's working out with the Asians. So I kind of stopped, slow down on the track. I'm like, what's up, bro? He's like, you look at me, motherfucker? I was like, oh, shit. We're about to fucking fight with Asians right now, right? And there's a big old oos right there because the Asians kicking with the others, right? Big oos is like, oh, what's up, oos, right? And Lion was there. Remember I told you guys about Lion? This was at the time Lion was there. Super oos, right? He was there. He was like, what's up, Cuddy? What's up, Cuddy? I'll handle whatever. I'm like, no. Kick back, right? So the Asian dude's like, you know me? I was like, were you in YA, bro? In Nellis? On Madison and Kennedy? He's like, I know you, motherfucker. Motherfucker, give me a hug, motherfucker. I'm like, oh, what's up, bro? He's like, yeah, remember I was beating up all the Southsider? I was like, nah, I mean, you beat a few of them up, but I remember you took some Willie lumps too. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it respectful because there's a lot of Southerners on this yard. And he was like, I fucked them up. Tell the truth. I was like, nah, the truth is, survey says you did fuck a gang of dudes up, bro. What's happening, right? It's been a long time. Well, what you don't do is talk about your old stories out loud. Okay, you can talk amongst your homeboys, but in prison, if you put hands on people in the past, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to do that in the future. And let me tell you how Back to the Future ended up for Marty McFly. Marty McPinoy Fly, right? There was Southerners that were walking the track, right where I was walking. So I'm chopping it up with them, but I'm staying moving on the track a little bit. So he jumps on the track with the big Uso and Lion. We're all walking together, right? They're like in the front. We're chopping game. And me and the homeboy, Brins, right? And these Southerners are behind us. And we ain't even tripping off them. And he's like, oh, yeah, I remember when I fucked that one dude up, that fool from Santana. I fucked that fool. I put him in the hospital. He's telling his stories, which were true. But I'm like, okay, cool. I'm trying to minimize the disrespect, right? And so as he's telling these stories, these Southerners are listening, man. They're feeling some type of way, right? Of course. Don't ever talk about a Southside because they feel, so they immediately, instead of just getting off, they got to go to their channels and do what they do, right? So they go get at their people, man. And a couple vatos on the very next yard, they approach the Usos and they're talking to them about their homeboy, right? And this motherfucker starts getting crazy. They're trying to calm him down. He's like, I ain't no fucking punk. I'm a Pinoy. Whoa, super. You know what I mean? He's super Pinoy. And he gets crazy. And he didn't last long in that yard. So he worked in the kitchen, right? At that time, I got kicked out of the kitchen because I got caught stealing a whole bunch of sugar and shit. So they kicked me out for a while. I had to hustle through a sergeant. My homeboy Brins got me back in there. So I wasn't in there when this shit happened, right? So I guess he's working in the kitchen. That's where the Southerners moved on him. And they cut his ass up bad, man. I remember when he was walking across the yard, they shut the yard down. We're all down, man. They're bringing him out of the kitchen. And that fool was all fucked up. And I was like, damn, bro, they got him. They got him, man. I remember the Asians were tripping, man. Like, it was about to go down, but it didn't. But yeah, they ended up shipping like almost all the others off because the others were gearing up. They were going to handle their business. Like, it was going down. I was like, what the fuck are you going down on this yard for? This yard's smooth, right? But yeah, they fucking caught that dude. They fucked him up because of that. Sometimes your old YA fucking stories should catch up to you. So anyways, man, that was my interaction with him. You know, I do know some other Pinoys, man. I gotta respect the people. They're with the business. You know, all the Asians are very quiet, But they ain't no suckers, man. In fact, I've had homeboys, real homeboys, that have said, bro, hey, Asians move just like us. They move like Mexicanos, like the raza. Very structured, very militant about their gente, and are willing to go all out. And he wasn't lying. That's the truth. With that being said, you know, that was just a crazy. He was a J-Cat, though, so he was different. I met a lot of other Pinoys. Very respectful, humble. That vato just didn't give a fuck. Maybe he wasn't a J-Cat. Maybe he just didn't care. You know, he wasn't a gang member or nothing. He just was about his, not even his people, just about him. And that's it. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I truly believe in. And that's the betterment of all people. Motherfucker. I remember he's like, I know you, motherfucker. I was like, yeah, motherfucker. Don't say that. It's disrespectful. I might have to stab you, motherfucker. But look, I didn't. Here's the true story right here. I will be doing a super, we'll put a question mark there, later on this afternoon. Boom. You're going to like it. But Gun, you always say you're going to do the double up then burn us. Not this time, ese. Not this time. Bang, bang.